Hey guys, first I wanted to start off by saying thank you so much for watching my videos and for all of your awesome feedback and comments. It's really awesome, and that's what's going to keep these videos keep coming to you. So I really appreciate that. And so if you have any videos or anything that you're wondering on, please feel free to comment below or send me a personal message, and I will do everything I can to make sure that I answer your questions, and to really make these videos. That's my goal, is to make these videos specific to what would be what everybody's wondering and questioning and wants to know. So um, today's topic is about carbs. So this morning I had a client. She was getting done with her workout, and I said, okay, what are you going to have for your when you're done working out? And she said, a banana. And I said, oh, banana's great because that has an energy source with carbs, but I wanted you to have some sort of protein with that too as well, because we just broke down your muscle fibers, so we want to build them back up. So maybe adding in, making it into a protein shake, or making, having a couple eggs with it, or even making protein pancakes to go with it, and chopping up some bananas and walnuts on top of that, or something along those lines, to help build those muscle fibers back up. So then she goes, carbs like are in everything, and everything's a carb. How can a banana be a carb? So I don't want you guys to be afraid of carbs, but I want to break down my view on carbs and how I feel carbs fit into the daily lifestyle. Because right now, I'm not against ketogenic diet. I think it serves a purpose in our industry, but I want to educate people so that they understand what the difference is, and how important carbs can be. For me personally, I feel that carbs are something that support my lifestyle choices, and it's something that I just wouldn't be able to get rid of long term in my diet. So, I mean, I really like, every morning I usually have, either some Ezekiel bread, or I end up having some oats. So those are kind of my go-tos for breakfast. And then I love my veggies like crazy. And so I have tons of veggies throughout the day, and I like my rice. I want to kind of break things down as to what's a good carb or complex carb, what to steer kind of away from, and things to think about. So carbs are abundant, they're easy to grab, and that's why they get that bad reputation that they have. If you think about when you're walking through a grocery store, not only are all of your fruits and vegetables considered a carb, but then you have your crackers, your cookies, your pretzels, cake, brownies, candy, chips. Your cereals, for the most part, are carb predominant. And then, so thinking about those things. So complex carb, those are going to digest a little bit slower. They're going to have more fiber in them, and they're going to be more nutrient dense. So when somebody talks to you about a complex carb, you want to think about whole grain bread. I like the Ezekiel bread, which you can find in the freezer department. Brown rice, quinoa, your beans, nuts and seeds, oatmeal, fruit, sweet potato, and vegetables are going to be your complex carbs. Again, those digest a little bit slower, are more nutrient dense, and have more fiber, so they actually stick with you a little bit longer. Simple carbs are going to be your white bread, your sugar, whether it's brown or white, right, or white sugar, your fruit juices. So often I hear people say, that they love to drink juice. And yeah, juice is delicious, but it's not going to give you the same amount of fiber and nutrients as you would have if you have a glass of orange juice versus eating an actual orange. So just something to think about, is, what's going to be better service to you, and how's your body going to respond to it better. And how is that going to make your body feel? How is it going to make your body look? And what are your goals? And does that food actually serve you? So fruit juices is one of them. And white rice is another. Muffins, candy, cookies, pretzels, chips, and then sugary cereals. So those are kind of a breakdown. Simple carbs are going to be, again, less nutrients. They're going to digest faster. chances are they're going to blow or spike your blood sugar levels. So if you're diabetic, that's something to consider and think about, or even pre-diabetic. I will actually share with you when I was 250 pounds when I went to the doctor, I was actually considered pre-diabetic. So I totally understand where people are coming from, and I know that you can reverse all of those symptoms by changing your diet and exercise. Really, it's the question comes down to how long do you want to be ill, and that's one of those things that you can actually control through your diet and your exercise. So if you need any help with figuring that out, navigating through that, please, by all means, let me know, because I'm more than happy to help you with that. So within that, I also wanted to share with you a few different scenarios. So the reason why carbs get a bad reputation too is if you think about it, say that you go out to a Mexican restaurant, and in my town that I live in here, Buffalo, Minnesota, we have let me think here. I think we have 4 restaurants. We have Bugambilia's, we have El Mocajete, we have, well, then we have Taco John's, I think we have Taco Bell, and we have Rancho Grande. There might be one I'm missing too. So that's 5. I mean, my gosh, for a small town that we have here, that's a lot of restaurants. So say that you go out for Mexican food. Chances are you probably, I mean, say that it's not a chain within the Taco Bell, Taco John's. Say that we're going to a sit-down restaurant. You're going to have a margarita possibly, and then you got your chips and salsa. And then chances are your entree is going to involve a tortilla, whether it's corn or flour, filled with, or off to the side, rice and beans. And then you got your meat and your cheeses and stuff. So if you're thinking about that, you have 5 really heavy carbs that you're adding into that meal. And I don't know about you, but I end up feeling really lethargic and tired after that, because that's not only spiked my blood sugar levels, but also it's carb overload. My goodness. So just something to think about when you go out to a Mexican restaurant. Second scenario, Italian food. Maybe you get a couple glasses of wine, then you get your breadsticks, you have your salad, and then your pasta. Those are going to be, again, you got all carbs right there. And depending on, I mean, with your pasta, you might have your protein with it and everything, but those are going to be carbs. Last scenario is going to be the American farmer scenario. So you start out with your protein, you know, your meat and potatoes person, if you're that person. You got your meat, and then you got your potatoes, your corn, your bread, and then followed up with a cookie or brownie or ice cream is at the end of that meal. So you're again looking at really carb heavy meals. So carbs aren't bad. Carbs are actually the body's main source of energy, which is really cool. So when you go to do your workouts here, or if you go to wake up in the day and you want to have all this energy, your body's first goes to that carbs storage to create energy for you, and it's done through it converts over to glucose, which is really cool to be able to have that energy. So just something to think about is, what are you feeding your body, and does it serve your goals? 1, 2, it might taste really good in the moment, but is it actually going to make you feel good later in the day? And just thinking about those sort of things, and is it, you know, simple versus complex carbs. And I know I'm throwing a lot of information at you, but if you just think about, what does your plate look like? Does it have a protein? Lean protein, talking chicken breast, hamburger, having, you know, even your steak, you got your pork, salmon, whatever your piece of protein, and your protein is going to roughly be the size of your palm of your hand and the thickness of your hand. And then having half of your plate should be like vegetables. And I tell people, if you don't like vegetables, chances are you're preparing them wrong. So just something to think about. Maybe you try preparing them a different way, because I grew up with vegetables that my mom, bless her heart, totally love her. And if Mom, you watch this, I love you. But we grew up with canned peas, canned green beans, and then broccoli and cauliflower that were boiled and smothered with Velveeta cheese. And so I grew up not liking vegetables, but once I got on my own and I started cooking, I realized I love vegetables, and I know that it makes my body feel amazing too once I eat those foods too as well. So, and then you can have that complex carb, throwing in that rice or the beans or something along those lines, the whole grain bread, oats, nuts, seeds, fruit, sweet potatoes, and I love sweet potatoes roasted. So just things to think about, and to put things into perspective. Carbs are not bad. They're a really good energy source. Just be aware of what your plate looks like and how many carbs you're choosing within that meal to have, and maybe eliminating one. And you hear people where they're like, I chose to get rid of the tortilla and just have the rice and the beans and meat. Perfect. So things like that. Just know that whatever you decide, is ask yourself, is it in line with my goals and my purpose and where I want to be? Because it may seem like it's not a big deal because it's just one meal, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't have them. I'm just saying that if you have goals, maybe it's something that you just got to decide that I can't do this because it's not in line with what I'm looking to achieve. So I hope this was helpful. Please comment below. And if you have any questions or anything, feel free to private message me. But have a great week. And thank you again so much for listening. I truly appreciate it. Head on over to my Instagram. I share lots of recipes and advice. It's Angie Thierry. So please follow me. It would mean the world to me. And if you find that this video would be helpful to someone, please share with them. I really appreciate that. So thank you so much and have a great week.